Hey folks, last month I asked you for your open and honest feedback to elevate our safety performance, and you showed up. I'm happy to report that survey participation was excellent, so I want to personally thank you for stepping up and giving your honest opinions. Your invaluable insights will drive our safety programs moving forward, but we're not done yet. In the coming days, representatives from our survey partners at DuPont will make site visits and conduct listening sessions with our teams. These conversations, combined with the survey feedback, will provide the critical details we need to take our safety performance to the next level. If you have the opportunity to participate in one of these sessions, please take the time to share your experiences and offer additional feedback about what works, what doesn't, and where you see real opportunities for improvements in safety. Thanks for your time today, for your commitment to safety excellence, and for all that you do to make WM the industry leader.
A cyclist does not evaluate risk the same way as a driver. He or she feels the obvious risk that must be managed is the terrain, which is why cyclists will seldom focus more than 25 to 50 feet forward of their lead tire. Another thing I would add is a cyclist generally views their role in roadway safety different than a motorist does. Knowing they represent no physical threat to a motorist, a cyclist will instinctively feel it is the vehicle operator that carries the burden of safe operation. So the bike rider will naturally assume that the greater care is being used by every motorist they encounter. You can imagine how much stronger that assumption is when the other motorist is a commercial truck driver.
Hello team, and thank you for taking the time to watch this important safety message. In this month's video, we will review the strategies that increase our safe interactions with roadway cyclists. To help us cover this important topic, we will hear from Southern California Area Safety Director Stevie Bereiter. But first, I want to explain why roadway cyclists are such a challenge for our professional drivers. No matter how you personally feel about the presence of cyclists on an active roadway, they do have a legal right to be there. Waste management drivers must be patient and considerate when interacting with cyclists. But they also must be defensive, and that means understanding the unique threat that riders represent. First, though cyclists have a right to occupy the roadway, they never have the physical advantage. Any collision between a vehicle and a cyclist is one that can end in tragedy for the rider. Helmets and pads are a great idea, but no gear can prevent serious injury if a cyclist is struck by a commercial truck. Next, not every roadway cyclist follows the rules of the road. Stop signs are one great example. Some riders will roll through stop signs and intersections so that their momentum is not lost, meaning less effort is then required at the pedals to maintain a certain speed. And you cannot tell a rider's true commitment to the rules of the road simply by their equipment or their appearance. A cyclist can have a high-end bike, the right gear, and a professional uniform, yet violate every intersection they encounter. Situational awareness is also generally poor for riders. They are disproportionately focused on roadway surface conditions, looking for potholes or obstructions forward of their lead tire. And they are often unaware of what is approaching at their rear positions. Most are riding without a bike mirror or helmet mirror, and many are riding with their earbuds streaming their favorite music. In short, they hear almost nothing and see far less than the average motorist. So they are constantly caught off guard by passing traffic or approaching lateral traffic. Area Safety Director Stevie Bereiter sees a lot of bike traffic in Southern California. So let's get her perspective.
Hello team! What an honor to be here with you today. I am thrilled to be talking to you about a topic that is very important to us here in Southern California. Like you, we have every type of bike rider in California. Those that use their bike for transportation, those that ride for exercise, and those that ride for fun. Other than a bike, they all have one thing in common. They are generally unpredictable and one bad decision away from a catastrophe. But there is also good news. In addition to having the best and safest drivers on the road, Waste Management also has the tools and training in place to manage the threat of bicycles on the roadway. Over the next few minutes, I will explain how you can use the teachings of the Safety Defensive Driving System to ensure safe interactions with cyclists. There are 6 principles in the safety system, and you will use them all. First, you must advance your field of view and include glances to the horizon well ahead of your occupied position. As you scan 12 to 15 seconds ahead, you want to locate any cyclists on the roadway, same direction or oncoming. But you also want to identify those riders that are outside the roadway. A number of the bike incidents we have experienced at Waste Management happened when riders darted into the roadway at the last second or suddenly left the sidewalk at an intersection. We are better positioned to find them when we scan effectively. Once we identify them, we assess their behavior by thinking outside the cab. We call it 100% focused 100% of the time. We use our training and experience to anticipate a rider's next move. We are also evaluating their behavior, searching for early signs of potential conflict, and taking defensive action early. If you see a rider behaving erratically, it should influence your lane selection and approach speed. Next, and I personally think this is critical to our success, we must find safe space. If a rider is outside a protected area or bike lane and we lack adequate room to pass, we must patiently follow at a safe distance, just as we would with a vehicle. If it is safe to overtake a cyclist or group of cyclists, we must give them a wide berth. Keep a minimum of 6 feet between you and any cyclist you pass. And remember what Jeff said earlier, they will likely be startled by your truck. Your overtake must be a controlled maneuver, pass at a safe speed, and be prepared to brake. You should be disciplined in use of your horn. Use your horn to alert cyclists to danger, but never to rebuke a cyclist once that danger has passed. Once you have traveled beyond a cyclist, expect to see them again. In the safety system, C369 is the encouragement to check your sides and rear at a frequency that makes sense based on your driving environment. The presence of a cyclist is absolutely one of the times when you should increase the frequency of your mirror use. If you pass a rider on your way to an intersection, stop sign, or red light, anticipate that that rider will catch your truck and attempt to squeeze next to you while you are stopped or as you are preparing to turn. See your 3 position and verify the location of that rider. If you think they will enter on your right, especially if you are preparing to turn right, you must wait for that cyclist to make their next move before you roll forward or initiate your turn. Remember, mirrors are great, but once you start to take a turn, the angle of your truck will make it difficult to see a cyclist next to your truck. The best time to see them and yield to them, and there's that last principle, is in the early stages of your turn sequence. Many of the worst bike incidents we have experienced at Waste Management occurred during wide right turns. When we make turns safely, we minimize the risk of conflict with vehicles, bikes, and pedestrians. If you have lost sight of a nearby bike and you are preparing to make a right turn, cancel that turn and keep moving forward. Do not turn if you cannot locate a rider. And remember, your rear tires will track inside of your lead tires when you turn. And those rear tires can end up over the curb and onto the sidewalk. Cyclists off the roadway, but near the intersection, can still end up under your rear tire if you have not properly managed the pivot point on your truck. Jeff and I each explained that riders are unpredictable and they do not always follow the rules of the road. For that reason, we must yield the right of way, just as we would a pedestrian, anytime they are in or near the roadway. It does not matter if they are on a bike path or they are entering the lane against a crossing signal. When they represent a threat to you and others, stand down and give them the roadway. If you have any questions about potential scenarios with roadway cyclists, I encourage you to speak with your manager or local safety professional. When we stay alert and focused, we can avoid tragic bike collisions. Be well and be on the lookout for cyclists. Let's all be safe out there.
If we use the guidance Stevie offered, we will locate these riders and safely avoid them. As I said earlier, they have the right to be there, but never the physical advantage. Therefore, we must err on the side of extreme caution when interacting with bike riders. Stevie is a well-respected waste management safety leader and a tremendous asset for her market area. I think it's great you were able to hear from someone who is so passionate about the well-being of her peers. Thanks again, Stevie. And thank you to all of you who have joined us today for this important discussion. Let's be safe in all that we do and make it easier for others to do the same. Have a great day.